This is not just a book. It is a voice, speaking directly to you, reminding you of something you may have forgotten. You were born to win, but somewhere between your fears, your failures, and the noise of the world, you started to believe that winning was for someone else. Let me tell you now, Chapter 1, this is not just a book, and it is not just words placed carefully on a page. It is a voice speaking to you directly, carrying itself across the space between your doubts and your destiny, reminding you of something you may have forgotten or perhaps never dared to believe. That you were born to win. That victory is stitched into the very fabric of who you are. That greatness is not reserved for a chosen few, but is instead a birthright carried quietly within every human heart, waiting for the moment when it is awakened and released. And yet along the path of life, somewhere between the fears you have felt, the mistakes you have made, the betrayals you have endured, and the noise of the world that constantly tells you to settle, to shrink, to surrender, you started to believe that winning was for someone else, for the stronger, for the luckier, for the more gifted. But let me tell you now, with a voice that will not bend, it is not for someone else, it is for you, and it is for you alone. And this journey we are about to begin together is not a collection of rules written in cold ink, nor is it a pile of empty promises meant to excite you for a moment and then abandon you in the silence. No, this journey is focus, it is energy, it is a fire that burns behind every word and refuses to let you forget who you truly are. It is the light of one voice reminding you that no matter where you are, no matter how tired, broken, or lost you may feel, the story of your victory has not yet been written, and I will stay with you until it is, because I did not come here to watch you fall. I came here to walk beside you until you rise. Imagine, if you will, this book not as paper and ink, but as a companion, a friend walking beside you, a voice whispering strength into your spirit when the world seems too heavy, when your body aches, when your dreams feel too far away. And as you listen, know that every page you turn is another step forward. Every sentence is another push against the weight that tries to hold you down. Every breath you take while hearing these words is proof that you are not finished, that you are still in the fight, that you are still capable of more than you have yet shown, because winning is not about speed, and it is not about being perfect. It is not about never falling or never doubting. It is about persistence. It is about the fire that refuses to go out even when the winds of fear scream at you to give up. It is about rising again and again and again until the world cannot deny the power of your spirit. You must hear this truth. You must let it sink deeper than the wounds of your past. Your failures are not the end of you. They are not proof that you are unworthy. They are not chains meant to keep you down. They are stepping stones, lessons, rehearsals for the greatness you are destined to live. And every scar you carry is not shame, but evidence of survival, evidence that you have already fought battles, and you are still here, still breathing, still standing, which means you are not done yet, you are only beginning. So as this journey unfolds, I want you to repeat to yourself in the quiet places of your mind and heart, I am not finished yet, I am still alive, I am still strong, I am still capable, and I will rise, because the fight inside me is not gone, it is waiting to be unleashed. And every failure I have known was never the end, it was simply the beginning of a better version of me, and that is what this book is about. It is about calling out that better version. It is about focusing not on your excuses, not on your weakness, but not on your doubts, but on the warrior within you, the dreamer who refuses to die, the winner who has been waiting quietly for the right moment to step forward. And I will not stop. I will not give up. I will not turn away until that winner is visible to the world, until you can stand on the mountain of your victory and say to yourself, with all the breath in your lungs, yes, I made it, yes, I fought and I won, yes, I am more powerful than every storm I have faced. This is Chapter 1, the Kaka, the foundation, the beginning, And from this point forward you and I walk together through the long road ahead. And though the road may not be easy, though it may test your patience and stretch your endurance, it will be worth it. Because at the end of it you will not only win, you will know without a doubt that you were always meant to win. And I promise you this, no matter how dark the path, no matter how heavy the burden, no matter how fierce the storm, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 2. When you wake up every morning, life does not simply hand you the keys to victory. Instead, it leans close and whispers a question into your ear. Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to step into this day as if it belongs to you? Are you ready to face the battles that wait in the shadows? Or will you let the weight of yesterday chain you to the ground? And on some mornings your body will scream no. It will ache with exhaustion. Your mind will echo that no, drowning you with doubts and endless what-ifs. But somewhere softer, deeper, quieter, your heart will whisper yes. And that whisper is everything. That whisper is your compass. That whisper is the raw, unfiltered truth of your being. And if you can learn to listen to it, even when it trembles, even when it seems too small to matter, you will begin to awaken to a life that is greater than anything you have yet imagined. That whisper, my friend, is the seed of greatness, the sound of your inner champion refusing to be silenced. And though it may seem fragile, it holds more power than the loudest scream of your fears. And if you choose to follow it, step by step, you will discover doors where others swear there are only walls. You will see pathways where others see nothing but dead ends, and you will find light where others insist there is only darkness. Because the truth is not found in the noise of the crowd, but in the quiet courage of your own soul. Each morning is a battlefield, and your first victory is not over the world, but over yourself, over the temptation to stay asleep, to stay comfortable, to stay the same. And when you choose to rise, not just from your bed, but from your doubts, from your excuses, from your fears, you announce to life itself that you are still in the game, still moving forward, still ready to claim what is yours. Think of the mornings when you felt heavy, when you thought you could not move, and yet you did. Think of the days you wanted to give up, but something inside pushed you to keep going. That something is your strength, that something is your resilience, and that something is what will carry you from where you are to where you must go. And understand this, every day is a gift, not in the shallow, overused sense of the word, but in the deepest reality that this sunrise you are seeing has never existed before and will never exist again. Today is unique, today is unrepeatable, and today holds possibilities that yesterday could not give and tomorrow cannot promise. And if you let it slip through your fingers, because you are trapped in the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future, you will lose the chance to turn this one day into a stepping stone toward your victory. Life is not asking you to be perfect when you wake up. It is not demanding that you leap out of bed with fire in your veins every morning. It is only asking you to rise, to show up, to give yourself fully to the day, because consistency is more powerful than intensity, persistence is stronger than talent, and showing up again and again, even when you do not feel like it, builds the momentum that separates winners from dreamers. Do not wait for motivation to appear like lightning from the sky, because motivation is fickle, it comes and it goes, but discipline, focus, and commitment, those are the anchors that keep you steady when the winds of doubt blow hard against your life. And every morning you practice rising in spite of your feelings, you carve strength into your character. So when life asks you that question at dawn, are you ready to rise? You must answer not with hesitation, but with the quiet power of action. Because your answer is not in your words, but in your choice, in the simple decision to stand, to move, to keep going. And remember, those who win are not always the ones with the best circumstances, the best resources, or the best luck. They are the ones who rise the most, who keep showing up when others stay down, who keep choosing yes when everything around them shouts no. Your mornings are sacred. They are the first battle of the day. And if you win that battle, the rest of the day bends to your will. But if you lose it, if you surrender before you even begin, the day slips through your hands before you have a chance to fight. So train yourself to listen to that whisper of yes inside your heart, because that whisper is your truest self. And though it may be quiet at first, the more you honor it, the louder it will grow, until one day it will roar, until one day it will drown out every voice of doubt, every echo of fear, every shadow of hesitation. And on that day you will know without question that you have become unstoppable. This is chapter 2. This is the call to rise. This is the reminder that the power to change your life does not arrive in one great moment, but in 1,000 small awakenings. And as you rise each day, as you choose yes each morning, you build the life you were born to live. And I will keep focusing on you until you win. Chapter 3. Failure is a word that most people fear, a shadow that hangs over their dreams, a weight that presses on their chest every time they think about trying something new. And yet failure, when you strip away the shame and the lies attached to it, is not your enemy at all. It is your teacher, your trainer, your rehearsal for greatness, because every fall you have faced in your life has not been proof that you are weak or unworthy. It has been evidence that you are brave enough to step into the arena, to take the risk, to play the game when others were too scared to even begin. And this alone is victory, for the one who dares and fails is already ahead of the one who hides and avoids. And I want you to feel this truth in your bones. Your mistakes do not define you. They refine you. They cut away the illusions. They sharpen your vision. They teach you lessons that no book, no lecture, no smooth road could ever teach you. And though they sting, though they bruise, though they sometimes feel like they have shattered your spirit, they are actually chiseling you into the person you were always meant to be. Think back to the moments when you fell, the times when you thought it was over, when you thought you could never recover. And yet here you are, breathing, listening, alive, stronger than you were then, wiser than you were then. And if you are honest, those failures gave you something that success never could. They gave you resilience, they gave you grit, they gave you the knowledge that you can take a hit and still keep going, that you can be broken and still find a way to rebuild, that you can be pushed to your knees and still rise taller than before. And this is why failure is not a grave, it is a seed. It is not an end, it is a beginning. But here is the trap that so many fall into. They confuse failure with identity. They think because they failed they are failures. They wear their mistakes like chains around their neck. They let their defeats carve the word loser into their spirit, and they stop trying, they stop believing, they stop daring. And that is the only real failure: to quit, to surrender, to bury the dream while it is still alive inside you. You must break this chain. You must refuse to let a single fall define the rest of your life. You must see every failure not as a full stop, but as a comma, a pause in the sentence of your story, because your story is not finished yet. Your victory has not yet been written, and no defeat has the power to write your ending unless you hand it the pen. Remember this always. Success is built on failure. Every champion you admire has fallen more times than you can count. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every triumph was preceded by countless mistakes, countless wrong turns, countless rejections. And what separated the winners from the quitters was not talent, not luck, not privilege, but the refusal to stop, the courage to look failure in the face and say, "You will not break me, you will make me." Think of the athlete who trains day after day, missing shots, stumbling, losing matches, but never quitting until one day the skills are honed and victory comes. Think of the writer who collects rejection after rejection until one editor finally says yes, and the world is changed by their words. Think of the entrepreneur who loses money, loses time, loses friends, but keeps believing until one breakthrough turns everything around. These stories are not the exception, they are the rule, because failure is the furnace of greatness. So when you fall, do not curse your mistakes, bless them, thank them, because they are shaping you in ways success never could. They are giving you the strength you will need to carry the weight of your future victories, and they are proving that you are willing to walk the road most will avoid, the road that tests, the road that breaks, the road that ultimately builds. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it sometimes feels unfair. But if you hold on, if you refuse to surrender, if you keep walking forward even with bruises and scars, one day you will look back and realize that every failure was not a punishment, but a preparation, not a curse, but a blessing in disguise. And you will see that the very things that once made you cry now make you unshakable. So hear me clearly now, failure is not your enemy. Failure is your ally. It is the voice that says you are in the fight. It is the proof that you are moving forward. It is the signal that you are alive and daring. And as long as you do not let it stop you, as long as you rise after every fall, it will not bury you, it will build you. This is chapter 3. This is your reminder that mistakes do not end the story. They enrich it. They empower it. They fuel the fire inside you. And as you continue this journey, I will keep focusing not on the falls but on the rise, not on the wounds but on the healing, not on the losses but on the victory that is waiting for you. Because failure is not the end of your journey. It is the doorway to your destiny, and I promise you, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 4. Discipline is the bridge between the life you dream of and the life you actually live. It is the invisible thread that connects the picture in your mind to the reality in your hands, and without it, even the most brilliant dream will fade into smoke, slipping away like sand through open fingers. Because a dream without discipline is nothing more than a wish, and wishes cannot carry the weight of your destiny. Only discipline can, and yet so many run from it, treating discipline as if it is a prison, as if it steals freedom, as if it is punishment, when in truth it is the opposite. Discipline is not your cage. Discipline is your key. It is the door that unlocks a life of strength, purpose, and victory. And the moment you embrace it not as an enemy but as a partner, everything begins to change. Think about it. Every champion you admire, every story of triumph that has stirred your heart, every success that seemed impossible until it was achieved, behind them all stands discipline, quiet, steady, often unnoticed, but always the foundation, always the force that kept the person moving when the crowd was gone, when the applause had faded, when the lights were off. Because talent can start the race, but only discipline finishes it. Motivation can spark the fire, but only discipline keeps it burning through the storms. And passion can carry you for a moment, but only discipline carries you for a lifetime. Discipline is the habit of showing up when you do not feel like it, the act of choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort, the power of saying no to distractions and yes to the grind. And though it may seem small in the moment, these small acts of self-control are what build greatness brick by brick, day by day, until suddenly what once seemed impossible is now your reality. You must understand this. Freedom is not the absence of discipline. Freedom is the result of discipline. Because when you discipline your mind, your body, your actions, you free yourself from regret. You free yourself from wasted time. You free yourself from the chains of mediocrity. And you begin to walk in a life of focus and power. Imagine two paths. One is wide and easy, paved with comfort, filled with pleasures that demand nothing of you. And the other is narrow and steep, demanding effort, sacrifice, and endurance. And most people choose the wide path because it feels good in the moment. It asks for nothing. It tempts with ease. But at the end of that road there is emptiness. There is disappointment. There is the pain of what could have been. And the other path, the hard one, the disciplined one, is difficult. Yes, it demands sweat. It demands patience. It demands that you keep walking when every part of you wants to quit. But at the end of that road there is victory. There is strength. There is pride. There is freedom. And the truth is simple: you must suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And the pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. So train yourself to choose discipline, not just once, not just when it is easy, but every single day, because the habit of discipline, once built, becomes easier. It becomes part of you. It becomes automatic, like breathing, like walking. And when discipline becomes your lifestyle, nothing can stop you. Discipline is waking up early when you want to stay in bed. It is practicing longer when you want to stop. It is saying no to the voices of doubt that tell you to give up. It is focusing on the mission when distractions beg for your attention. And yes, it is hard, but remember this: easy never made anyone great, comfort never crowned a champion, and shortcuts never built empires. Every time you choose discipline, you invest in your future. Every time you refuse it, you rob yourself of your own greatness. And you must decide: are you willing to trade a moment of comfort for a lifetime of regret, or will you endure a moment of sacrifice for a lifetime of victory? The truth is, discipline is love. It is love for your future self. It is love for the dream you carry. It is love for the person you are becoming. And if you truly love yourself, if you truly value your destiny, you will not betray it for a fleeting comfort. You will guard it with discipline, as if your life depends on it, because it does. So from this moment forward, see discipline not as a chain but as a weapon, not as punishment but as preparation, not as loss but as gain. And remember that every small act of discipline is a vote for the life you desire, a step across the bridge toward the victory that is waiting for you. This is Chapter 4. This is your reminder that dreams without discipline are illusions, but dreams with discipline are destiny. And I am here, walking beside you, focusing on you, reminding you that if you will hold fast to discipline, if you will refuse to let go of it, no matter how hard the road becomes, there is nothing you cannot do. There is no mountain you cannot climb. There is no dream you cannot fulfill. And I promise you, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 5. You will meet doubters. You will meet critics. You will meet people who look at you with narrowed eyes and dismissive smiles and say you cannot do it. You are not enough. You are wasting your time. And some of them will be strangers who know nothing of your heart, while others may be people close to you, people you thought would support you, people whose opinions once mattered. And the sting of their doubt can cut deep. It can echo in your mind and make you question yourself. But listen closely and understand this truth. Their words are not about you. Their words are about them, about their fears, their limitations, their belief that if they could not achieve something, then neither can you. And you must never allow their small vision to shrink your destiny, because their doubts do not define you. Their disbelief does not weaken you. Their lack of faith is not a prophecy over your life. It is only noise, and noise cannot stop a determined soul. You see, doubters speak from their own prisons, from their own chains, from their own history of surrender. And when they say you cannot, what they are really saying is I could not. When they say it is impossible, what they are really confessing is I gave up. And if you are not careful, you will swallow their poison and call it truth. But it is not truth. It is fear dressed as advice. It is insecurity disguised as concern. It is limitation painted as wisdom. And you must protect yourself from it, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with clarity, with resolve, with the fire inside you that whispers again and again, I can, I will, I must. Understand this clearly. The people who doubt you now will one day be forced to watch you rise. They will one day look at the life you built and realize their words did not stop you. And when that day comes, you will not need to rub it in their faces. Your victory will speak louder than any argument. Your success will silence their disbelief. Your life itself will be the answer to their doubt. But until that day arrives, you must learn to carry their voices without letting them enter your spirit. You must learn to walk past their judgments without giving them power over your steps. And you must learn to let their doubt fuel you instead of drain you, because the truth is doubt can be your enemy, or it can be your energy. It can be the chain that holds you back, or the fire that pushes you forward, and the choice is yours. So when someone looks at you and says you cannot, do not argue, do not fight, do not waste your breath trying to convince them. Simply smile and say in your heart, watch me, because actions will always scream louder than words, results will always silence opinions, and victory will always destroy doubt. Remember that no one believed the great dreamers at first, no one believed the pioneers, the inventors, the leaders, the visionaries. When they spoke their dreams, people laughed. When they shared their vision, people mocked. When they started their journey, people doubted, but they kept walking, they kept building, they kept moving, and now the world remembers their victories and forgets the doubters, because history does not record the names of those who said it could not be done. History records the names of those who proved it could. And you, yes, you carry the same fire, the same possibility, the same potential, and your story, like theirs, will not be written by the voices of doubt, but by the choices of courage. So be careful whose voices you allow to shape you, because words are seeds, and if you water the seeds of doubt, they will grow into fear. But if you starve them and instead water the seeds of belief, of vision, of persistence, they will grow into unshakable confidence, and from that confidence will come action, and from action will come victory. Do not let the noise of others become louder than the whisper of your heart, because your heart knows the truth. Your heart knows you can. Your heart knows you were born for more, and though the doubters may never admit it, deep down they fear your courage, because your courage exposes their cowardice. Your persistence reminds them of the moments they quit. Your rise makes them uncomfortable, because it proves that excuses were never the truth. So wear their doubt like armor. Let it remind you of what you are fighting for. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it fuel your determination. And never forget that the best way to answer doubt is not with words but with wins, not with explanations but with results, not with arguments but with undeniable triumphs. This is chapter 5. This is your reminder that doubters do not hold the pen that writes your destiny. They only throw stones from the sidelines. But you are not here to stay on the sidelines. You are here to play the game, to fight the battle, to claim the victory. And I am here, focused on you, reminding you that no matter what they say, no matter how loud their doubts may become, your victory is still certain if you refuse to stop. And I promise you this, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 6. The power of focus is the secret that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who wander from those who conquer, those who talk about winning from those who actually hold victory in their hands. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows, and what you give your energy to grows. And if you spend your days focusing on fear, fear will expand until it consumes you. If you spend your nights focusing on problems, problems will multiply until they bury you. But if you discipline your mind to focus on solutions, solutions will begin to reveal themselves. If you focus on courage, courage will rise inside you. If you focus on winning, then no force on earth can hold you back. Because focus is the steering wheel of your destiny. It is the lens through which you see the world, and whatever you choose to magnify will shape your life. Think of your mind as a spotlight on a dark stage. The stage is filled with countless objects, countless distractions, countless possibilities. But whatever the spotlight shines on is what you see, what you feel, what you respond to. And in the same way your focus defines your reality, it determines whether you live in hope or despair, in strength or weakness, in faith or fear. And most people live their lives letting their spotlight move wherever circumstances push it, shining on doubt when things get hard, shining on anger when people disappoint them, shining on excuses when challenges appear. But champions, winners, visionaries, they take control of the spotlight. They aim it deliberately. They shine it on the path forward, even when the world around them is dark. And because of that, they keep moving when others freeze. They keep building when others quit. They keep rising when others fall. Understand this. Focus is not just about what you pay attention to. It is also about what you refuse to give attention to, because every distraction has a cost. Every wasted hour, every wasted thought, every wasted emotion is energy that could have been poured into building your future. And the truth is, you cannot focus on everything. You must choose, and your choices will either drain you or drive you. They will either keep you stuck or push you forward. Too many people fail not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they scatter their focus, chasing 100 things with shallow effort instead of one thing with deep commitment. And the result is frustration, exhaustion, mediocrity. But when you gather your focus, when you pour yourself fully into one mission, one vision, one clear direction, you become unstoppable, because all your energy flows into that single point like a laser cutting through steel. And yes, it is hard to focus in a world filled with noise, filled with screens and notifications and endless distractions begging for your attention. But that is why focus has become even more powerful today, because focus is rare, and what is rare is valuable. And the person who can master focus in this chaotic world will rise above the rest, because they can give themselves fully to the task, fully to the journey, fully to the dream, while others are scattered, divided, and weakened. So train your focus, guard it like treasure, because it is treasure. It is the currency of your future, and every time you waste it on negativity, on gossip, on fear, you are spending the very fuel that was meant to carry you to victory. But every time you invest it in learning, in building, in growing, you are feeding the fire of your destiny. Ask yourself, where is my focus right now? Is it on my excuses or my solutions? Is it on my fears or my faith? Is it on what is missing or what is possible? Because the answer to that question will tell you why you feel stuck or why you feel strong, why you are sinking or why you are rising. The mind is like a garden, and your focus is the water. Whatever you water grows, water weeds, and weeds take over. Water flowers and beauty blooms, and you cannot stop weeds from appearing, just as you cannot stop negative thoughts or challenges from coming, but you can refuse to water them. You can choose instead to water the seeds of belief, the seeds of courage, the seeds of persistence, until your entire mind is filled with strength instead of fear. Focus is power, but it is also a habit, and like any habit, it can be trained. And the more you practice aiming your thoughts toward what builds you, the more natural it becomes, until one day focus is no longer a suckle but your second nature, your default setting, your way of life. So decide now that you will no longer allow distractions to steal your destiny. Decide now that you will not waste another day shining your spotlight on doubt, on fear, on excuses, but that from this day forward, you will shine it on victory, you will shine it on growth, you will shine it on the path that leads you to the life you were born to live. This is Chapter 6. This is your reminder that focus is not optional if you want to win. It is essential. It is the difference between drifting and driving, between stumbling and soaring, between living as a victim and living as a victor. And as you master this power, know that I am here, walking with you, keeping my spotlight on you, refusing to look away, because I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 7. You were not created to live small. You were not designed to shrink yourself to fit the expectations of others. You were not placed on this earth just to survive, to get by, to walk quietly in the shadows of your own potential, because deep inside you, there is a voice that refuses to be silent, a voice that whispers in the stillness of the night, a voice that echoes even when you try to ignore it, And that voice says, I want more, I was made for more, I cannot settle for less. And though the world may try to drown it out with noise, with criticism, with fear, it will not disappear, because that voice is the echo of your destiny, the sound of your true self calling you to rise into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Too many people smother that voice, they bury it under excuses, they suffocate it with doubt, they silence it with distractions. But even when ignored, it never dies, it waits, it lingers, it aches to be heard, because you were not born for mediocrity, you were born for greatness. And greatness is not about fame or fortune, it is about living fully. It is about stepping into the highest expression of yourself. It is about refusing to accept a half-lived life when a life overflowing with purpose and passion is possible. The tragedy is not that people fail. The tragedy is that they settle, they build cages and call them comfort zones. They accept crumbs when the feast of life is available. They convince themselves that average is safe. But safety is the most dangerous prison of all, because it lulls you into sleep while your dreams wither away. Listen to me. There is a fire in you. There is power in you. There is a dream in you that is bigger than the life you are living now. And the proof is the restless hunger you feel, the dissatisfaction with ordinary, the sense that no matter what you achieve, there is still something more, something higher, something waiting. And that hunger is not a curse, it is a gift. It is your soul refusing to be tamed, your destiny refusing to be denied. Do not fear this hunger. Embrace it, because it is pointing you to the path you were meant to walk. And though that path is not easy, though it demands courage and sacrifice, it is the only path that will satisfy the ache in your heart. Small thinking will never lead to big victories. Small dreams will never unlock your full potential, and small living will never bring the deep joy of fulfillment. So you must train yourself to think beyond limits, to dream beyond fear, to act beyond comfort. And every time the voice inside you says, I want more, do not push it away. Do not call it greed. Do not call it foolishness. Call it truth, because it is the truest part of you. The world may try to shame you for wanting more. It may call you ungrateful. It may tell you to be satisfied with less. But gratitude and ambition are not enemies. You can be thankful for what you have, while still reaching for what you are capable of. You can honor your present blessings while still chasing your future destiny. And you must, because to suppress your potential is to betray yourself, and betrayal of self is the greatest tragedy of all. Think of the people who dared to want more, who refused to live small. Every breakthrough in history, every innovation, every movement, every masterpiece came from someone who said, I will not settle. I will not accept this ceiling. I will not silence the voice inside me. And because they honored that voice, the world was changed. And now it is your turn, your responsibility, your calling, not only for yourself, but for the people whose lives will be touched by your courage, whose paths will be lit by your example, whose hope will be strengthened by your victory. Do not underestimate your influence. Do not think your dream is just about you. Because when you rise, you give others permission to rise. When you live big, you remind others they can too. And when you win, you open the door for others to follow. So stand tall, do not shrink, do not apologize for your greatness. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Because the world does not need more smallness. The world needs more people who dare to shine fully, who dare to live fully, who dare to honor the voice of destiny inside them. This is chapter 7. This is your reminder that you were made for more. That small thinking will never satisfy the hunger of your soul. That living small will never honor the greatness within you. And from this day forward, you must walk boldly. You must listen to that voice. You must refuse to settle, because your destiny is calling, and I promise you, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 8. Life will test you. Life will push you. Life will sometimes feel like it is trying to break you. And in those moments when the storms rage, when the nights stretch long, when the weight on your shoulders feels unbearable. It is resilience that will keep you standing, resilience that will keep you moving, resilience that will whisper in your ear, "You are not finished yet. Keep going, keep fighting, keep rising." Because resilience is the muscle of the soul, the inner strength that refuses to surrender, no matter how many times you are knocked down. And without it, no dream can survive, no victory can last, no life can flourish. Resilience is not something you are born with in full measure. It is something you build, something you strengthen through adversity. And though the pain of challenges may feel cruel, they are secretly shaping you, carving you, preparing you for the life you say you want. Because you cannot reach greatness with untested strength. You cannot carry victory with untrained shoulders. And the very struggles you curse today may become the very reasons you succeed tomorrow. Understand this clearly. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the classroom of success. It is the fire that tempers steel, the storm that strengthens roots, the weight that builds muscle. And every time you rise after falling, you grow stronger. Every time you push forward despite pain, you grow tougher. Every time you refuse to quit, you stretch your capacity. And that is resilience. People admire victory, but they often forget that behind every win are countless moments of resilience. Moments when quitting seemed easier. Moments when walking away seemed tempting. Moments when the pain screamed louder than the dream. And yet the person chose to stay, to endure, to rise. And because they did, they discovered that resilience was the secret bridge between failure and triumph. Resilience is not glamorous. It is not celebrated while you are in it, because no one sees the silent battles, the nights of tears, the mornings of fatigue, the doubts that claw at your mind. But resilience is forged in those invisible battles. And later, when you stand victorious, people see the glory, but they do not see the grit. They see the prize, but not the process. They see the crown, but not the scars. Yet without the scars, without the grit, without the unseen battles, there would be no crown. So if you are walking through hardship right now, do not despise it. Do not see it as punishment. See it as training. See it as preparation. See it as the gym where your resilience is being built. And though you may not like it, though you may not choose it, know that it is necessary, because every dream requires a certain strength, and your struggle is sculpting that strength within you. Resilience also demands perspective, because when you see pain only as pain, it can crush you. But when you see pain as purpose, as shaping, as preparation, it empowers you. It gives you meaning to endure. And the strongest people are not the ones who never suffered. They are the ones who gave their suffering meaning, who turned wounds into wisdom, pain into power, scars into stories of strength. Do not think resilience means you never feel weak, never feel tired, never cry, because resilience is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to keep going in spite of it, to keep moving even when your body aches, to keep believing even when your mind doubts, to keep standing even when your knees shake. And that choice, repeated again and again, is what makes you unbreakable. And remember this: life may knock you down 100 times, but if you rise 101, you win, because resilience is not about avoiding the fall. It is about refusing to stay down. Every champion you admire has been broken before. Every leader has been rejected. Every winner has been bruised. But what makes them different is not that they avoided hardship. It is that they refused to let hardship define them. They refused to let pain write the last chapter of their story. You have that same resilience within you, even if you doubt it, even if you feel weak, because the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still fighting despite everything you have faced, proves that resilience is alive in you, and it will carry you further if you let it. So when the storms come, do not fear them, face them. Let them teach you, let them shape you, let them make you unshakable, because one day you will look back and realize that the storms did not break you, they built you. They did not destroy you, They defined you, and you will thank the very struggles that once made you cry, because they gave you the strength to rise. This is Chapter 8. This is your reminder that resilience is the secret weapon, the silent strength, the bridge between struggle and success. And no matter what comes against you, no matter how heavy the weight, no matter how long the night, I am here to tell you that you have what it takes to endure, to rise, to overcome. And I will not stop reminding you. I will not stop speaking into your soul. I will not stop focusing on you, because you are stronger than you know, and I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 9. Discipline is the bridge between your desires and your destiny. It is the invisible thread that connects what you dream about at night to what you hold in your hands in the light of day. And without discipline, every vision remains a fantasy. Every goal remains a wish. Every ambition remains a hollow echo of what could have been. Because talent may open doors, but only discipline keeps them open. Motivation may start the fire, but only discipline keeps it burning. Excitement may get you moving, but only discipline keeps you consistent when the excitement fades. And that is why the greatest achievers in every field are not simply the most talented. They are the most disciplined. The ones who understand that success is not built on what you do once in a while, but on what you do every single day, on the choices you repeat until they become habits, on the habits you refine until they become character, and on the character you embody until it becomes destiny. Discipline is not glamorous, it is not loud, it does not always feel good, because discipline means saying no when the world tells you yes. Discipline means waking up when your body begs to sleep. Discipline means working when your friends are playing. Discipline means sacrificing comfort for growth. And while others chase instant pleasure, you choose lasting progress. And though in the moment it may feel like you are missing out, in reality you are gaining everything, because every disciplined choice is a seed planted in the soil of your future. And the harvest of those seeds is a life others will envy, but you will know was built by your consistency, your sacrifice, your daily decisions. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack opportunity, not because they lack intelligence, not even because they lack desire, but because they lack discipline, because they cannot endure the boredom of routine, the repetition of practice, the grind of daily effort, and they give up when success was just one disciplined step away. Discipline is the difference between the athlete who trains when no one is watching and the one who only trains when the cameras are on, between the student who studies when it is difficult and the one who only studies when it is easy, between the dreamer who talks and the doer who builds. And every day you are faced with the choice of which one you will be, the disciplined or the distracted, the focused or the scattered, the committed or the inconsistent. Understand this: discipline is freedom, not restriction, because when you discipline yourself, you free yourself from the control of your impulses, you free yourself from the chains of laziness, you free yourself from the prison of regret. And though in the moment discipline feels like limitation, in the end it gives you unlimited options, because you have built the strength, the habits, the mastery that others lack. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about persistence, it is about falling and getting up again. It is about missing a step and returning to the path quickly. It is about building a rhythm that becomes your way of life. And when discipline becomes who you are, success becomes inevitable, because it is no longer dependent on motivation, on mood, on circumstances, but on the steady force of your character. And yes, discipline is lonely at times, because few people are willing to pay its price. But remember this: the price of discipline is always less than the price of regret. The pain of sacrifice is always lighter than the pain of failure, and the temporary discomfort of saying no is always easier than the lifelong weight of what if. So let today be the day you decide to be disciplined, not only in the big things, but in the small, because greatness is not built in giant leaps, but in daily steps, not in occasional effort, but in relentless consistency, not in dramatic gestures, but in quiet, steady habits that compound over time until the results are undeniable. Wake up early if you must. Stay late if you must. Push through the moments you feel like stopping, because every act of discipline strengthens your will, sharpens your focus, and moves you closer to the life you envision. Do not wait for motivation to come, because motivation is fleeting, but discipline can be trained. And the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, until one day discipline is not something you struggle to keep, but something you cannot live without. This is Chapter 9. This is your reminder that discipline is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is the silent architect of your dreams, the unseen hand that builds your destiny. And though others may quit, though others may give in, though others may laugh at your strictness, you will one day stand where they wish they stood, living the life they wish they had. And when that day comes, you will know it was not luck, it was not chance, it was not talent alone. It was discipline, your daily choices, your refusal to quit, your steady walk across the bridge from desire to destiny. And I promise you, as always, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 10. Faith is the fuel that keeps you moving when logic says stop, when circumstances scream impossible, when everything around you looks like defeat. Because faith is not blind optimism. It is not wishful thinking. It is the unshakable belief that what you cannot yet see is still possible, that the invisible can become visible, that the dream can become reality if you refuse to let go. And without faith, the weight of challenges will crush you. But with faith, you rise above them. You see beyond them. You endure through them. Because faith gives you sight when eyes fail, strength when muscles weaken, courage when fear roars. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And though the path may be dark, though the details may be hidden, though the outcome may be uncertain, faith says take the step. Faith says keep walking. Faith says trust that the ground will appear beneath your feet. And again life will test whether you have that faith, whether you can believe before the evidence appears, whether you can hold on to hope when everything tells you to let go. And the truth is, only those who walk in faith ever reach the mountains others only dream about. Faith does not mean you will not face storms. It means you will not drown in them. It does not mean you will not encounter giants. It means you will have the courage to face them. It does not mean the road will be easy. It means you will keep walking even when it is hard. And in the end, faith is what separates those who collapse under pressure from those who rise through it, those who quit from those who conquer. Some people say seeing is believing, but the truth is believing is seeing, because what you believe shapes what you pursue, and what you pursue eventually shapes what you see. And if you only believe in what is already visible, you will never create what is not yet born. You will never build what has not yet been imagined. You will never reach what has not yet been touched. But when you believe first, when you see it in your heart before you see it with your eyes, you awaken a power within you that drives you, sustains you, and carries you beyond limits. Think of the pioneers, the dreamers, the inventors, the leaders who changed the world. None of them had guarantees. None of them had certainty. None of them had a clear map. But they had faith. Faith that what they carried inside them mattered. Faith that the vision could become reality. Faith that their persistence would not be wasted. And because of that faith, they kept walking when others stopped. They kept building when others quit. They kept believing when others doubted. And in the end, their faith became sight. Their unseen dream became undeniable reality. And the same is true for you, because your dream, your goal, your vision may not be visible to others now. But that does not mean it is not real. It simply means it is still growing, still forming, still waiting for your faith to breathe it into life. And if you give up now, you rob yourself of the miracle waiting to unfold. But if you keep believing, keep moving, keep trusting, The day will come when others finally see what you always knew, and they will call it impossible until you prove it possible. Faith is not easy, it is not convenient. It will stretch you, it will test you, it will demand that you hold on when your hands are tired, that you trust when your heart is heavy, that you move forward when your legs are trembling. But it is in those very moments that faith is most powerful, because faith is not tested in comfort. Faith is tested in crisis, and every crisis you endure with faith makes you stronger, wiser, braver, and more unstoppable. Do not confuse faith with passivity, because faith is not sitting back and waiting. Faith is action in the face of uncertainty. It is planting when there is no rain. It is building when there are no resources. It is working when there are no guarantees. It is persistence powered by belief. And when you combine faith with discipline, with focus, with resilience, nothing in this world can stop you, because faith fuels the engine of all progress. So do not let fear silence your faith. Do not let doubt choke it. Do not let delay weaken it, because faith is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. And the stronger it grows, the further you can go, until one day what once seemed impossible becomes ordinary, what once seemed unreachable becomes your reality. This is chapter 10. This is your reminder that faith is not just for the religious, not just for the dreamers, not just for the hopeful. It is for anyone who refuses to be limited by what they see, anyone who dares to believe in what they cannot yet touch, anyone who chooses to trust in the possibility of victory when defeat seems certain. And if you keep walking by faith, if you keep holding the unseen vision, if you keep believing even when others stop, then your faith will lead you to the life you were born for. And I promise you, as always, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 11. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to act despite fear. It is the willingness to take the step even when your legs are shaking, to speak the truth even when your voice trembles, to keep moving forward even when the unknown looms large in front of you. Because everyone feels fear, everyone faces moments when the heart pounds and the mind whispers, what if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you fall? But the ones who win, the ones who rise, the ones who change their lives are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who feel it fully yet refuse to be controlled by it. They walk hand in hand with fear, but they do not let it lead them. They hear the doubts screaming, but they move anyway, and in doing so they discover the secret that fear is not a wall, fear is only a veil, and the moment you step through it, you realize it was thinner than you imagined, weaker than you believed, smaller than it appeared, and beyond that veil lies the life you have always longed for. Courage is the key that unlocks doors you thought were closed. It is the bridge that carries you across rivers of uncertainty. It is the light that pierces the darkness of doubt. And every great story ever told, every hero ever celebrated, every victory ever remembered began not with certainty, but with courage. The courage to try, the courage to risk, the courage to believe when nothing was guaranteed. Courage does not mean recklessness. It does not mean you will never fall. It means you accept that falling is part of the journey. It means you trust yourself enough to rise again. It means you are willing to endure the sting of failure for the chance at greatness, because the pain of temporary defeat is always smaller than the pain of permanent regret. Too many people wait for fear to disappear before they act, but fear never disappears. It only diminishes when you face it. It only weakens when you challenge it. It only crumbles when you walk through it. And every time you choose courage, every time you act despite fear, you grow stronger, you expand your limits, you build a new level of confidence, and soon what once terrified you becomes normal. What once seemed impossible becomes routine, and you realize that courage does not eliminate fear, it transforms it into fuel. Think of the moments in your own life when you dared to be courageous, when you made a choice that scared you, when you stepped into the unknown, when you took a risk others warned against. And remember how alive you felt, how proud you were, how much you grew, because courage is the birthplace of growth, and without it you remain the same, safe perhaps, but stagnant, alive but not truly living. The comfort zone is warm, but it is also a coffin, and only courage can pull you out. Only courage can breathe life into your dreams. Only courage can write a story worth telling. Do not wait for perfect conditions, because they will never come. Do not wait for the guarantee of success, because it will never be given. Do not wait for the fear to vanish, because it will never fully go away. Instead, move now, act now, dare now, and let courage lead you into the unknown where your destiny waits. Remember this: courage is contagious, and when you choose it, others around you feel empowered to choose it too. When you rise, others rise. When you fight, others fight. When you conquer, others believe they can conquer. And in this way your courage is not only for you, it is for everyone who watches, everyone who follows, everyone who draws strength from your example. And yes, courage will sometimes leave you bruised, sometimes leave you scarred, sometimes leave you exhausted. But those scars are not signs of weakness. They are medals of honor, proof that you dared, proof that you tried, proof that you lived. And those who never risk, never try, never dare, will never know the depth of that pride. They will never know the beauty of those scars, because only the courageous understand the cost and the reward of fully living. So let this moment be the turning point, the moment you choose courage over comfort, faith over fear, growth over stagnation, and do not look back, because the life you want, the victories you dream of, the destiny you are called to will not come to you in safety. They will only come when you dare to step out, when you dare to risk, when you dare to act. And though your knees may shake, though your hands may tremble, though your heart may pound, take the step anyway, because courage is not about waiting for confidence. It is about creating confidence through action. This is chapter 11. This is your reminder that courage is the weapon that breaks fear, the shield that protects dreams, the fire that lights the path to victory. And if you dare to be courageous today, tomorrow will thank you, your future will thank you, your destiny will thank you. And I promise you, as always, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 12. Persistence is the heartbeat of champions, the quiet force that refuses to quit when the world says stop, the steady rhythm that carries you through storms, setbacks, rejections, and failures. Because no matter how talented you are, no matter how brilliant your vision is, no matter how much potential burns inside you, if you do not persist, you will not arrive. But if you do persist, if you keep showing up, keep pushing forward, keep rising after every fall, then nothing in this world can keep you from victory. Because persistence wears down obstacles, persistence outlasts resistance, persistence turns the impossible into the inevitable. Look around at any story of greatness, and you will find not just moments of brilliance, but seasons of persistence, years of repetition, countless days of grinding when no one was watching, when no one was applauding, when nothing seemed to be working. And yet the person kept going, because they understood that persistence is not about winning once. It is about refusing to stop until you win. It is about coming back again and again until the wall cracks, until the door opens, until the dream becomes reality. Too many people give up too soon. They quit at the first rejection, the first failure, the first disappointment, and they call it fate. They call it destiny. They say maybe it was not meant to be. But the truth is they simply lacked persistence. They mistook a delay for a denial. They mistook a setback for an ending. They mistook a closed door for a locked one, when in reality victory was just a little further. Success was just one more step away. The breakthrough was waiting just beyond their last attempt. Persistence is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It is often boring, often repetitive, often unseen. But it is in the grind of persistence that greatness is forged. Because every time you persist, you grow tougher. Every time you persist, you grow wiser. Every time you persist, you prove to yourself that you cannot be broken, and that self-belief becomes your greatest weapon. Persistence does not mean never resting. It does not mean burning yourself out. It means refusing to quit. It means that even when you pause, even when you stumble, even when you fall, you rise again, you return again, you try again. And that again and again becomes the rhythm of your journey until you stand on the mountaintop. Think of the seed that pushes through the soil day after day, unseen, uncelebrated, and yet it persists, and eventually it breaks through into the sunlight, not because it was the strongest seed, not because it had the best conditions, but because it refused to stop pushing. And your dream is the same, hidden now, perhaps uncelebrated, invisible, but if you persist, if you refuse to stop pushing, one day it will break through, one day it will shine, one day it will bear fruit. Persistence is also a test of desire, because if you can walk away easily, if you can give up quickly, then perhaps the dream was never truly yours. But if you cannot let it go, if it keeps pulling at you, if it keeps burning in you despite the pain, then persistence is your proof that the dream is real, and the more you persist, the more that dream will reveal itself. And yes, persistence will be lonely, because most will not understand, most will quit early, most will settle for less, and you will wonder why you are still pushing when others have stopped. But remember this, the path of persistence is narrow, but it is the only path that leads to greatness, and those who walk it will one day look back and realize that every lonely step, every unseen effort, every repeated attempt was worth it. Persistence is the difference between almost and accomplished, between trying and triumph, between wishing and winning, and if you carry it long enough, nothing, not failure, not rejection, not time, can stop you, because persistence always prevails. This is chapter 12. This is your reminder that persistence is not optional. It is essential. It is the fuel that keeps you going when others quit, the anchor that holds you steady when storms rage, the engine that drives you when motivation dies. And if you persist, if you refuse to stop, if you show up again and again, no matter how hard it gets, then the life you dream of will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality, and I promise you, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 13. Faith is the invisible power that carries you when your strength is gone, the unseen hand that lifts you when your feet are heavy, the quiet whisper that says keep going when logic tells you to stop, because faith is not about seeing the whole staircase, it is about taking the first step when you cannot even see the ground beneath you. It is about believing in possibilities when circumstances scream impossibility. It is about trusting that the seed you planted in tears will one day grow into a harvest of joy. And faith has always been the engine behind the greatest achievements of mankind. Because before anything becomes real, it is first believed. Before any dream is built, it is first imagined. Before any victory is won, it is first seen with the eyes of faith. Faith is the refusal to surrender to doubt, the decision to keep moving when everything in your environment tells you to turn back, and the commitment to trust the process even when the process is painful, confusing, or slow, because faith does not eliminate struggle, it gives struggle meaning. Faith does not erase obstacles, it gives you the strength to climb them. Faith does not prevent storms, it gives you the anchor to survive them. Most people fail not because they lacked opportunity, not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked faith, because they doubted themselves, they doubted the journey, they doubted the outcome. And doubt is a thief that steals potential, while faith is a builder that creates futures. And every time you choose faith over fear, you expand your possibilities, you enlarge your vision, you invite miracles into your path. Faith is not naive optimism. It is not blind ignorance of reality. It is the bold decision to believe in a higher reality, to believe that beyond what you see there is more, that beyond what you feel there is strength, that beyond what you face there is purpose. And when you live with faith, you stop being a prisoner of circumstances and start being a creator of outcomes, because faith changes how you act, how you speak, how you think, and those changes shift the results you experience. Think of the moments in your own life when faith carried you, when you stepped into something uncertain and it turned out better than you imagined, when you risked despite fear and discovered new strength, when you trusted that somehow things would work out, and they did. Those moments are proof that faith works, that faith is not fantasy, it is force, it is power, it is life itself. And yes, faith will often be tested, it will be stretched, it will be shaken, because only through testing does faith grow, only through storms does faith become strong. And while others may crumble under the weight of trials, the faithful rise, the faithful endure, the faithful emerge stronger because they refuse to let go of their belief. Faith is contagious too, because when you live by it, others see it, others feel it, others are inspired by it, and your courage to believe in the unseen gives them courage to believe in themselves, in their own dreams, in their own journeys. And in this way, faith not only transforms your life, but ripples outward to transform the lives of those who encounter you. Faith is also a choice you make daily, not once, because every day you face situations that challenge your belief. Every day you face voices that whisper doubt. Every day you face opportunities to quit. And every day you must decide again and again to hold on to faith, to feed it with your thoughts, with your words, with your actions, until it becomes unshakable. Without faith, life is limited, but with faith, life is limitless, because faith allows you to dream bigger, work harder, risk bolder, and endure longer than you ever thought possible. So if you are standing at the edge of uncertainty right now, if you are staring at a dream that feels impossible, if you are fighting a battle that feels endless, remember this: faith is your weapon, faith is your shield, faith is your ladder. And though you may not see the finish line, though you may not understand the how, though you may not know the when, hold on to the why, hold on to the vision, hold on to the belief that your effort is not in vain, your journey is not wasted, your dream is not dead. It is alive as long as your faith is alive, and as long as you refuse to stop believing. There is still hope, there is still time, there is still victory ahead. This is chapter 13. This is your reminder that faith is not weakness. It is strength. It is not illusion. It is power. It is not wishful thinking. It is the foundation upon which destinies are built. And if you keep believing, if you keep trusting, if you keep walking in faith, then no matter how dark today looks, tomorrow will shine. Your breakthrough will come. Your victory will arrive. And I promise you, as always, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 14. Resilience is the armor of a winner, the inner strength that allows you to bend without breaking, to stumble without staying down, to suffer without surrendering. And it is resilience that separates those who merely dream from those who actually achieve. Because life will test you, life will throw storms at you, life will knock you down again and again, and without resilience you will quit. You will collapse under the weight of pain. You will surrender when the fight gets too long. But with resilience, you can endure the storm. You can walk through the fire. You can keep rising no matter how many times you are knocked down. And that is why resilience is one of the greatest gifts you can build within yourself. Resilience is not something you are born with fully formed. It is something you develop, something you strengthen through challenges, through setbacks, through failures, because every disappointment becomes training, every rejection becomes a workout for your spirit, every loss becomes a lesson that adds to your strength, and with each trial you survive, your resilience grows, until one day you look back and realize the things that once broke you no longer move you. The struggles that once terrified you no longer shake you. The storms that once drowned you no longer scare you, because resilience has made you stronger than the storm. Resilience is not denial. It does not mean pretending everything is fine when it is not. It does not mean ignoring your pain or hiding your scars. It means embracing the reality of pain, but refusing to be defined by it. It means carrying your scars proudly as evidence that you survived, as proof that you endured, as reminders that you are still standing, and each scar becomes a symbol of your resilience. Many people think success is about never falling, but the truth is success is about rising every time you fall, and resilience is what makes rising possible. Because without resilience the fall becomes the end, but with resilience the fall becomes the beginning of a stronger you. Life will test your limits. It will push you to the edge. It will strip away your comfort. It will demand everything you have, and in those moments you will be tempted to quit, to believe that you cannot go on, but resilience whispers you can. Resilience whispers keep going. Resilience whispers this is not the end. And when you listen to that whisper, you find within yourself a strength you did not know existed. Resilience is also about adaptability, about adjusting when the plan changes, about finding new ways when doors close, about refusing to be rigid in your approach, but unshakable in your purpose, because life will rarely go exactly as you imagined, and those who survive and thrive are not the ones who expect perfection, but the ones who adapt with resilience, the ones who turn obstacles into opportunities, the ones who use setbacks as setups for comebacks. And yes, resilience is hard. It requires patience when you want speed. It requires endurance when you want ease. It requires faith when you want certainty. But resilience pays rewards that nothing else can give, because when you are resilient, no matter what happens to you, you cannot be defeated. You may be delayed but not destroyed. You may be wounded but not finished. You may be slowed but not stopped. And that makes you unstoppable, because there is no force on earth stronger than a person who refuses to stay down. Think of the stories of history, the inventors who failed thousands of times before success, the leaders who were rejected again and again before being accepted, the athletes who lost more games than they won before they became champions. What carried them through was not luck, not shortcuts, but resilience. The ability to keep coming back, to keep fighting, to keep believing no matter how many times they were told no. Resilience is not glamorous. It does not shine in the spotlight. It works in the shadows. It grows in the quiet. It develops when no one is cheering. And it is in those unseen moments that your true strength is forged. The strength that will one day shine when the world finally sees you standing tall after everything you endured. So if today you feel broken, if today you feel defeated, if today you feel like giving up, remember this: you are not finished, you are not done, you are not out, because as long as you have resilience, as long as you refuse to quit, as long as you keep getting up, your story is still being written, and the best chapters are still ahead. This is chapter 14. This is your reminder that resilience is not just about surviving, but about thriving. It is not just about enduring pain, but about transforming pain into power. It is not just about lasting through storms, but about learning to dance in the rain. And if you choose resilience today, if you decide to rise one more time, if you refuse to let life break you, then no matter what comes your way, you will overcome, you will endure, you will win. And I promise you, as always, I will focus on you until you win. Chapter 15. Victory is not a single moment of applause. It is not just the medal, the trophy, the recognition, or the spotlight. Victory is the entire journey you walked to get here, the sweat you shed, the tears you cried, the nights you stayed awake, the mornings you rose early, the battles you fought in silence, the failures you endured, the times you felt like giving up but didn't, because true victory is not just about the destination. It is about the transformation, about who you became in the process of refusing to quit, about the strength you discovered, the courage you developed, the faith you grew, and the resilience you proved to yourself again and again. And when you finally arrive at the place where your dream becomes real, when you finally taste the sweetness of success after years of bitterness, when you finally see the vision in your heart become the reality in your hands, you will know that victory was never an accident. It was never a coincidence. It was built by your discipline, fueled by your persistence, carried by your courage, sustained by your faith, and secured by your resilience. Victory is not for the faint-hearted. It is not for those who quit at the first sign of resistance. It is not for those who only move when conditions are perfect. It is for the ones who dared to keep going when everything inside them screamed stop. It is for the ones who turned setbacks into stepping stones. It is for the ones who endured being misunderstood, being doubted, being laughed at, and yet kept working quietly, consistently, relentlessly until the results spoke louder than the criticism. Victory is also not just for you. It is for everyone who believed in you, for everyone who prayed for you, for everyone who supported you in your darkest moments, for the child who will look at your story and believe they too can rise, for the stranger who will hear your words and decide not to quit, for the generation that will be inspired by the life you built. Because your victory becomes a torch, and once you carry it, others find their way through your light. And let me remind you, victory is not just at the end. Victory is also in every step you took along the way. Victory is in every day you chose to keep going. Victory is in every battle you fought and survived. Victory is in the progress you made, even when it was invisible to others, because victory is not only measured by outcomes but by endurance, by growth, by transformation. The greatest victories are not the ones written in newspapers or posted on social media. The greatest victories are the private ones. The battles no one knew you were fighting, the nights you cried but still rose the next morning, the temptations you resisted, the doubts you silenced, the demons you conquered within, and those victories make the public ones possible, because you cannot win in the world if you have not first won within yourself. Victory also comes with responsibility, because once you win you cannot stop. Once you achieve you cannot settle. Once you conquer you cannot become complacent, because the same resilience, the same faith, the same persistence that brought you here must be used to sustain and expand what you have built, and your victory must serve a greater purpose than yourself. It must inspire, it must uplift, it must create a legacy that outlives you. Victory will not erase all struggle. It will not mean life becomes easy. It will not mean the battles are over, but it will mean you now know you can endure, you can rise, you can fight and win again and again, and that confidence will carry you into greater victories, higher mountains, deeper callings. So if you have not yet seen the victory you dream of, do not despair, because it is coming. If you do not quit, if you do not surrender, if you keep going, then victory is inevitable, because no one who persists with faith and resilience ever loses. They may be delayed, but never denied. They may stumble, but they always rise. They may cry, but they always continue. And in the end, they always win. And when that moment comes, when the world sees what you built, when you stand tall after everything you endured, when you look back and realize how far you have come, you will smile not only because you made it, but because you know you became someone greater in the process, and that is the ultimate victory. This is chapter 15. This is the closing reminder that victory is not given, it is earned. It is not luck, it is labor. It is not chance, it is choice. And if you continue to focus, to persist, to believe, to rise, then victory is your destiny. And as always, I promise you, I will focus on you until you win.